What is up, everybody? Welcome to the Inland Sports Show. I'm your host, Pep Fernandez. We appreciate you tuning in on Wednesday night. We are live and amplified, but the Inland Sports Show YouTube channel is open 24/7, so you can pop in whenever you want and check out the show whenever you do, live or playback after the fact. You can always give this video a like and subscribe if you haven't done so already to the Inland Sports Show YouTube channel. Now, this might be the biggest, most action-packed show of the season. We're going to talk CIF Southern Section volleyball championship matches. We have Rialto head coach Carla Sittniewski joining us here on the show tonight. We're also going to talk King boys water polo. They are going to a championship on Saturday at Mount Sac. Of course, we're going to break down the quarterfinals of the high school football playoffs, all the big matchups coming up. We've got our I Am Gifted Athletes of the Month for the month of October. So Raiders running back Alexander Mattison's going to check in and unveil the winners for the month of October for the city of San Bernardino. We're also going to talk RCC football, CBU women's soccer making it to the NCAA tournament for the first time, and the big crosstown showdown between CBU and UCR in men's basketball. It came down to the final shot. All that plus the boost man, Ray Bass, sitting down with Norco head softball coach Rick Robinson and Beth Windham, assistant coach for a long time there at Norco. And so we've got a lot to get to in this show. So let's get right to it. We're going to start with volleyball. And just a quick time of recognition. Let's celebrate our 3 local champions here in the Inland Sports Show coverage area. That would be Murrieta Valley in Division 2 taking on Palos Verdes, and they win 25-23, 25-14. 20-25? 14-25, but the Nighthawks come back in the 5th and decisive set 15-12 to win that D2 championship. Corona in D5, they win 25-20, and they drop the next 2, 19-25, 25, 22-25, then they win 25-22, and then 15-9 in the 5th set. So a couple 5-setters, but not in Division 9, because Rialto took care of business against St. Pius, 25-19, 25-9, and 25-11 for their first ever CIF Southern Section title in girls volleyball. And Carla Sittniewski, the former Rialto Knight, going back to her school and bringing them a CIF championship. Inland Sports. And now join us here on the Inland Sports Show, fresh off a CIF Southern Section championship. It's Rialto Knights volleyball coach Carla Sittniewski. Coach, obviously you are still fired up about the title, aren't you?
Yes, so much so. Everybody keeps asking every time they see me. They're like, "You're smiling a lot more." yeah, it would do that to you.
And Coach, correct me if I'm wrong. You went to Rialto, right? That's your alma mater.
It is. I graduated.
So what does that mean to you to be able to go back and bring a CIF championship to your school?
Honestly, it is a dream come true. I played volleyball in high school, and my coach that coached me, I actually work with at Rialto High School. And so not just me getting to share this, but she got to share this too, because this is our first CIF championship. So it's amazing.
All right, Coach, so you guys in Division 9, you beat St. Pius in 3 straight. But leading up to that, I was digging back through the brackets. You had several 5-setters. I mean, talk about just the journey to get to that championship match. I mean, you guys had some battles.
Yes. So pretty much every game went 5 sets. I mean, except the championship one. The scores were close. Literally by 2. It'd be like 26-24. So my team, honestly, I could say the thing that they learned the most, and it's helped us so much, is keeping their focus and keeping the pressure down, keeping their nerves under control. You could see it in the 5 sets, they would struggle, let it slip a little. But honestly, I've never had a team so determined, and they just came back with a vengeance.
And do you think that's what it was, just determination? Like, what do you think it was that they were still like mentally locked in? They didn't give up, even if they fell behind, or maybe they gave up some points, or like, man, how do we regroup? How do we stay dialed in, right?
Yeah. So it's something I learned about my team, and I would tell them before every game is, okay, I understand you. You like to be dramatic. You like the drama. So you're going to give us heart attacks. We get it. No, it's really like they would, like every team, they would go through a struggle. They would start losing some points. We'd have some errors, mistakes. But the one thing I can say about this team is this year, they finally learned how to lock in, pull it together, and decide, no, we believe in ourselves. We are better than that. And we're not going to give up. And they didn't. And I'm so proud of my team this year.
Coach, was there a moment during the season when you thought, this team's pretty special? Like, we've got a good group. If we can just hold it all together here, we might make a run. Did you have a moment? Was there a certain play? Was there a match? Something behind the scenes? Something that told you, like, this is a championship caliber team?
The crazy thing is, I saw this after tryouts way back in May. I saw my team and I was like, oh, they're really like together. They're skill-wise, just how they mesh together. And I was like, I think this could be a team that, and my whole goal was to go past first round of CIF because we haven't gone past first round. And after Summer League, I was all, I think they can do this. And then it went down because during league, they played with me. And then for a moment, I was like, oh, great. This is going to be another year of just allowing the struggles to take over. But they proved me wrong. They showed me come CIF, we made it. And they showed me like, no, we're here. We're here to play. We're here to do business. And I was like, okay.
So when you played at Rialto, did you guys ever make the playoffs when you were there?
We made CIF.
Okay.
No. 1 year we actually made CIF. But again, didn't go past first round. And that was back when we were in the Citrus Belt League. So tough teams.
Yeah, I know. Absolutely. So, Coach, full disclosure, if people are watching this interview, you saw the state brackets come out and you're going to be on the road at Charter Oak. So I'm not going to go too far into that matchup, but just the fact that you guys are in the state playoffs. I mean, CIF champion in the state playoffs. I mean, it's like the dream season for you.
It really is. As I was telling other people, I'm very excited, but it's still almost like it's surreal because my whole goal was like, be the team that goes past first round because you want it so bad. And we just kept going round after round. There was one game, I think it was against Azusa. They have a video of the winning point that we won. And it shows me everybody's up jumping and I'm literally just sitting in my seat still like, like, wow. Like, yes, we did this.
So have you had a chance to kind of soak it in a little bit? I know you have to kind of regroup and focus now on, the state playoffs and, because a lot of teams, a lot of coaches, regardless of the sport, CIF, that's it. Like the Southern Section, like that's the goal. And it's like, oh yeah, wait, hold on. We still have have playoffs, after this. So have you had a chance to at least enjoy the CIF championship, but also keep in mind like, hey, we still have more volleyball in front of us now?
Yeah. I mean, after the day after, I was like, all right, we got practice. Like, so we still got practice Friday. We got practice Monday. Today, was the day off, Veterans Day, and we still came to practice. And I think we kind of enjoyed it together. I gave my team like, let's have our moment. You did it. You won. You conquered CIF. Okay, now let's lock in because we still have more to go. Let's take this as far as we can.
Do you find yourself, maybe especially putting yourself in the senior shoes, kind of enjoying all these, practices and even these matches because you don't know when the end's going to be, but there's not a lot of teams still playing at this point of the season. So the fact that you guys are still having a practice on Veterans Day, that's a big deal.
It really is. And especially, it disrupts a lot of things. I mean, I'm going to be honest. All of us had plans because we didn't expect to go. We had weekend plans at weddings, like to go to weddings, all this kind of stuff. Even the players were like, my family wants to go on a trip because we didn't plan on being here. And we just came together, was like, okay, well, what is it that we want? But we want to keep going. So we're still putting in the hard work. We're still, showing up at those practices, putting the time in to see how far we could take it. And honestly, like, biggest support has been my athletic director, Troy Holland. Like, he's been amazing through all this, and he's been there, like, at the games, stressing with me. So it's just been, honestly, with the support and everything from like our school admin and just parents and supporters, it's been great.
All right, Coach, last question. Do a little name dropping. I know you got some star players, but do a little name dropping. Who are some of the athletes? I know you can't list the whole roster, but maybe the seniors or your captains, who have been kind of the players that you leaned on during this championship run?
Honestly, my 3 captains and then my setter. So my setter is a freshman, number 4, Priscilla Diaz. She has been solid, and her mind, how she plays the game and sees the game, well beyond her years. So without a doubt, because we all know that the setter is like the hardest position that gets the least amount of glory.
Yeah. Your point guard. Yeah.
Yes. And she has been solid all the way through. And then, of course, number 18, Cajon, Gatlin, my big middle blocker. She's honestly what's kept this team keeping the energy, because even when we start going down, making mistakes, she'll come back and make an amazing block or kill that ball. And it gets the team, the crowd, everybody back in it, and like just energy going. And then, of course, number 3, Alani Gutierrez. She's been consistent and solid as my outside hitter. Pretty much my go-to, when we start having issues, like the setter will set Alani, and she's just the go-to hitter to keep it consistent. And then when she really wants to, she pounds that ball. And then my last one would be my libero, Maya Juarez, number 43. She's been rock solid in that back. And liberos don't always get glory because they're the defender. They're not like the big kill hitters grabbing it, but she has been amazing and solid all the way through. So those are my probably top 4 that I'm like, yes.
Well, Coach, listen, congratulations on the CIF Southern Section title, Division 9, and what a run. All those 5 setters, and they get to the finals against St. Pius and roll and make it a sweep. So congratulations, Coach. I know you still have the state tournament in front of you, but congrats on the CIF title, bringing it back to your alma mater.
Yes, I'm so excited about that.
That is Rialto head coach Carla Sittniewski here on the Inland Sports Show. Inland Sports. All right, a big thanks to Coach Sittniewski on the interview and the big win for the Rialto Knights. Quick update: we did the interview before the first round of the state playoffs, I should say. Rialto and another CIF champion from the Southern Section, Murrieta Valley, losing in the first round, but still a great season to be a CIF champ. That is what it's all about. We did have the Corona Panthers advance in the state tournament, as well as Temecula Valley, also still alive in the state tournament, so congratulations to them. So we just had the Southern Section finals in volleyball. We've got the water polo finals coming up this weekend at Mount Sac. We've got a couple local teams in the hunt for a championship. You're looking at the King Wolves. King with a 9-7 win against Pasadena Poly in the Division III semifinals. And now King will advance to the D3 championship match Saturday at Mount Sac, 3:50 p.m. as they will take on Los Osos. Congratulations to the Wolves getting to the finals and trying to get the job done Saturday at Mount Sac against Los Osos. And they aren't the only local team. That's Division 3. In Division 6, we got San Bernardino. They will be taking on Montclair for the D6 championship. That is Saturday, also at Mount Sac, and that one is at 10:30 a.m. in the morning. So best of luck to the Wolves and the Cardinals this weekend playing for water polo CIF Southern Section titles. All right, when we come back here on the Inland Sports Show, let's see. We're going to check in with Alexander Mattison, the Las Vegas Raiders running back from San Bernardino. Going to have his I Am Gifted Athletes of the Month for October. And we're going to break down high school football in the quarter-final round, plus RCC football, some news out of CBU, all kinds of good stuff. When we come back here on the Inland Sports Show, we'll be right back after this. And this segment of the Inland Sports Show is brought to you by Kids Sporting Goods in Norco, #1 in the Inland Empire for team uniforms, sports equipment, and Letterman's jackets. Boost Performance Training in Corona. Athletes of all levels and all sports train at Boost. And also ask about the Bass Private School. Paulson Orthodontics in Redlands. Personalized treatment you deserve from an orthodontist you can trust. Chick-fil-A in Yucaipa, right off the 10 freeway at Yucaipa Boulevard. Eat more chicken. And as the football season wraps up across Southern California, turn to Sanitation Solutions for comprehensive laundry and athletic equipment services. They can take care of your weekly uniform laundry and end-of-season equipment inventory. And if you'd like to promote your business or organization on the show, send us an email. Help us share the positive sports stories here in the Inland Empire. The Inland Sports Show is proud to partner with Dr. Marcus Paulson and Paulson Orthodontics in Redlands. Dr. Paulson and his team work with children, teens, and adults using orthodontic products like traditional braces and Invisalign to make a difference in the appearance, comfort, and function of each patient's teeth. Paulson Orthodontics welcomes new patients, so schedule a visit today. Paulson Orthodontics. We make braces fun.
Want to know the best type of recovery for athletes at zero cost? I'm talking about sleep, of course. As an athlete, good sleep can help you reduce your risk of injury, improve your strength and power output, as well as improve your overall work capacity. It also helps you bounce back quickly from the stress of competition. As a student, adequate sleep can help boost your mood, cognition, productivity, and relationships. Bottom line, don't sleep on sleep. Boostman.
All right, welcome back to the Inland Sports Show, everybody. Again, my name is Pep Fernandez. We appreciate you tuning in each and every Wednesday night, live and amplified at 7:05 p.m., one of our bigger shows of the season. When the sports cross over the seasons, it's a very busy time. Of course, we do a lot of high school football on the Inland Sports Show, but we wanted to give some love to volleyball. We just talked about boys water polo. We're going to talk some soccer in a moment. It's basketball season as well. We still got the Norco softball coaches with the Boost Man coming up, so very busy show. Let's jump right back into it. This is a segment that we're very proud of, very excited about it, bringing it back for a second year. Alexander Mattison from San Bernardino High School back with his I Am Gifted Athlete of the Month. Last year, he did an Athlete of the Week just for the fall season, but Alex is like, that's not enough. We got to do it the whole school year. So he's back. He's doing it each month. So the I Am Gifted Athletes of the Month for the month of October for his hometown in the city of San Bernardino. I'm not going to tell you. Alex is going to tell you. Check it out.
Hey, what's up? It's Alexander Mattison, running back for the Las Vegas Raiders. And it's time to acknowledge two more outstanding student athletes for the I Am Gifted Athletes of the Month. First up, for the girls, we have San Gorgonio volleyball standout Ariana Serra Not only did she lead the Spartans to the school's first ever league championship, but also helped Sanji reach the CIF quarterfinals for the first time. Sarah led the team in kills and will be named the Skyline League's MVP. She also has a 4.0 in the classroom. Congratulations to Ariana on a great season. And for the boys, we have Cajon quarterback Evan Powell. Evan has thrown for more than 2,000 yards and 28 touchdowns with a completion percentage of 72%. Evan helped the Cowboys finish with an 8-2 overall record during the regular season, and they punched their ticket to the CIF Division III playoffs. Best of luck to Evan and the Cajon Cowboys as they make a CIF championship run. Congratulations again to our 2 I Am Gifted Athletes of the Month. We'll see you in a couple of weeks with 2 more I Am Gifted Athletes of the Month.
So congratulations to Ariana Sarah and Evan Powell, your I Am Gifted Athletes of the Month for the month of October. Alex will be back in a couple of weeks with another set of I Am Gifted Athletes of the Month. Proud to sponsor and be a part of this with Athletes for Life and the San Bernardino City Unified School District. Very cool what Alex is doing to give back again for our local community. All right, we're jumping into some high school football right now. We just wrapped up the first round of the CIF Southern Section playoffs. Here we go into the quarterfinals. One of the biggest games we had in the first round was that Hemet versus Rancho Christian rematch. Rancho Christian won the first time 31-28 to lock up that Sun Belt League title. The rematch, the sequel, part 2, first round in the Division 8 playoffs went the way of the Bulldogs. Inland Sports. It's our Big Boost play of the week, and it was Hemet quarterback Draven Lopez coming up big time against Rancho Christian, going for 5 touchdowns in the game. He threw for 3, he ran for 1, he even had a pick 6. He's playing some defense all over the place for the Hemet Bulldogs. I think this is it right here, one of the interceptions, as Hemet stormed back to beat Rancho Christian 58-19 as the Hemet Bulldogs advance in Division 8. They will be at home against Serrano in the quarterfinals in Division 8. But a huge effort by Hemet quarterback Draven Lopez to earn our Big Boost play of the week. And oh, by the way, really smart guy as well. He's got a 5.0 GPA. I know his mom is very proud of him and getting it done in the classroom and on the gridiron. Our Big Boost play of the week, all of them. Quarterback Draven Lopez making plays all over the field in that big rematch against Rancho Christian. So let's go to the Boost Top 25 after the first round of the playoffs. The top 10 remains untouched. And I guess the good news is they are who we thought they were, right? I think we got it right. I think those 10 teams right there are your top 10, barring some miraculous run by maybe Rancho Verde or Murrieta Mesa or Hemet. But I think the top 10 is the top 10. I know we got a big game coming up with Cajon and Vista Murrieta. We'll talk about that in just a moment. But they pretty much are who we thought they were by this time of the season. So glad the top 10, it remains unchanged. I think it was like 2 or 3 weeks it remains unchanged. So I think we got it right. That's what I'm trying to get to. The other side, though, 11 through 25, it's been really jumbled, especially the last couple of weeks. Teams going up and down, sliding all around. Rancho Verde in at number 11, followed by Hemet and Murrieta Mesa. Those 3 teams are still alive in their CIF Southern Section playoff bracket, still in the hunt for titles. Ramona, followed by Summit. Summit is still playing right now, as is King. King is going to be home against Rio Hondo Prep. And then after that, some teams who had great seasons, but their seasons have come to a close. Vista del Lago, Rancho Christian, Norte Vista, Citrus Valley. Yucaipa is still playing. They will be at home against Peninsula in Division 7 this coming week, as is King, also in D7. Great Oak still alive. I think they're, I don't have the bracket in front of me. I think they're Division 9, followed by Hillcrest. Valley View still playing. They're in 10, and West Valley. That's our Boost Top 25 poll after the first round of the playoffs. We will probably do one more, I think one more top 25, but that'll probably be it because we will only have a couple of teams left by the time we get to the semifinals. So congratulations to all our teams right now in the Boost Top 25. They all had great years. It's been a lot of fun covering them all season long. But the big one coming up this week, Vista Murrieta playing on the road at Jaden Daniels Stadium to take on the Cajon Cowboys. Vista Murrieta, dramatic win against Villa Park in the first round in Division III. Meanwhile, Cajon picking up a big 30-point win on the road at Chino Hills. So this quarterfinal game is going to be massive. Two of the top teams in our Boost Top 25 going head-to-head. And again, the winner will move on to the semifinals. It's going to be a lot of fun, a lot of great players in this game. It's our Ken Sporting Goods must-see game, Vista Murrieta and Cajon. And here's a couple of those big quarterfinal games coming up this week. Centennial, after a first-round bye in Division I, they'll go on the road. Yes, on the road to Mission Viejo. The Huskies rarely play road games in their first game out in the playoffs. They're always at home because they've had great years, but they actually had Mission Viejo, the Diablos, ranked ahead of them. So anyways, D1 on the road for the Huskies. Murrieta Valley, dramatic win against Rancho Cuc in the first round in Division II. Now they go to Los Alamitos. Division V, Summit back at home against Huntington Beach. In fact, I looked at the coin flips. Summit was at home in the first round. They're going to be at home in the quarters. If they beat Huntington Beach, they might be at home again in the semifinals. What a run by the Fighting Mathenis. King will host Rio Hondo Prep. We saw Rio Hondo Prep take care of Ramona 35-zip last week. Big task for the Wolves. Peninsula beat Citrus Valley last week. Now they come back out to the IE, another CBL team in Yucaipa. San Gorgonio against Grand Terrace, the rematch. That's Division 11, and Carter versus Canyon Springs in another all-local battle. Man, we've got some great games coming up in the CIF Southern Section quarterfinals. Now some college football. You might have watched it on Riverside TV this past Saturday. It was the defending state champion RCC taking care of San Diego Mesa, who has one of the top defenses in the state. But the Tigers rolled in this one to not only lock up the National Conference Southern League title, but it also gave them an automatic spot in that 4-team Southern California playoff bracket. That is the first step to repeat as state champions. RCC will play on the road at Fullerton on Saturday, but they're already league champs, and they're already in that Southern California playoff, so congratulations to RCC. Well, congratulations also going out to the CBU women's soccer team advancing to the NCAA tournament for the very first time. They won the WAC tournament title in dramatic fashion. Natalia Cortez, the game-winning header right there for CBU against Grand Canyon to wrap up the WAC tournament title and punch their ticket to the NCAA tournament. So now the Lancers will hit the road in the first round as they will take on UCLA on Friday. Congratulations to CBU, making more school history just to get to the tournament for the first time. The men's soccer team, they're still playing in the WAC tournament right now. Their tournament is still going, but they've advanced to the NCAA tournament the past 2 years. In fact, they won their first round game last year. So now the women's soccer team being able to punch their ticket to the NCAA tournament as well. But again, going on the road to UCLA, it's going to be tough, but the Lancers will be ready. And if you saw this, the Crosstown Showdown in men's basketball between California Baptist and UC Riverside. It's the Crosstown Showdown. It's a Riverside rivalry. Last year, CBU won at UCR 70-69. Well, the Highlanders repaid the favor as UCR and CBU came down to the wire. Highlanders up by 1 in the final seconds. CBU with the ball. They get a good look, but Sam Silverstein cannot connect on that three. And UCR wins the Crosstown Showdown 70-69 in front of a packed house at the Fowler Events Center. So congratulations to the Highlanders with a dramatic win in the Riverside rivalry game, the Crosstown Showdown. CBU will be back in action on Friday against a Long Island University. The Sharks, they are coached by Rod Strickland, the former NBA star. Hope you'll join me on ESPN+. That's this Friday at 7 p.m. CBU and Long Island. We'll see if the Lancers can bounce back. All right, when we come back here on the Inland Sports Show, we're going to have our little KCAL 96.7 FM segment, but also The Boost Man, Ray Bass, is going to sit down with the Norco softball coaches. That's next here on the Inland Sports Show. And this segment of the Inland Sports Show is brought to you by Kids Sporting Goods in Norco, #1 in the Inland Empire for team uniforms, sports equipment, and Letterman's jackets. Boost Performance Training in Corona. Athletes of all levels and all sports train at Boost. And also ask about the Bass Private School. Paulson Orthodontics in Redlands. Personalized treatment you deserve from an orthodontist you can trust. Chick-fil-A in Yucaipa, right off the 10 freeway at Yucaipa Boulevard. Eat more chicken. And as the football season wraps up across Southern California, turn to Sanitation Solutions for comprehensive laundry and athletic equipment services. They can take care of your weekly uniform laundry and end-of-season equipment inventory. And if you'd like to promote your business or organization on the show, send us an email. Help us share the positive sports stories here.
Parents, is your young athlete training too much? Stay tuned to find out. Did you know that the recommended dosage of training hours per week should not exceed your child's age? This means that if your child is 13, they should receive no more than 13 hours of speed training, strength training, sports practice, and competition within 7 days. So, don't burn your kids out, keep development fun, and more importantly, don't be a crazy parent. Boost Man.
The Chargers with a huge win against the Titans 27-17. So they're now 6-3 on the season. They now have more wins than they did last year. And I love this stat, Patrick. Since 1990, the Chargers are only the fourth team to allow 20 or fewer points in their first 9 games of the season. So long gone are the days of Antonio Gates and Stan Humphries and Natron Means. This Chargers team, we've talked about it before, is built on defense.
Yes, very stingy. You know what I mean? A team as a whole. They don't let you do anything easily. And I mean, that is going to pay off.
Well, Patrick, real quick, college football, man, what a weekend. We just had our first look at the 12-team playoff. It's obviously going to look a lot different for this upcoming week when they give the projected 12 teams, because Georgia and Miami, they both go down. Alabama, over LSU, BYU holding on against Utah. I could go on and on, but it was a wild week. So these last couple of weeks of the regular season, I think that 12-team playoff, those first-round matchups and who's going to get the first-round buys, I think it could completely change by the time we get to the end of November.
It's kind of really fun. I mean, you got the NFL is up and down. College football is even more up and down. You're right. So we don't know what's going to happen. It's kind of exciting to watch every week to see the jumble.
It is a lot of fun because I never like it when you already know who's going to win the national title. It's like, it's going to be Alabama versus Georgia in the championship game, or it's going to be, Michigan versus Texas in the national championship. I like having it wide open. I like the parity. I like that, dude. Even some of these big brands like Alabama, they might lose in the first round depending who they get. Like it's so fun.
Yeah, we finally get to see it. Let's get a Boise State in there and see what happens.
Dude, Southern Methodist is coming from out of nowhere. Boise State, BYU, let's go.
Let's see it.
Inland Sports. Hanging out with my boy Patrick in the morning on KCal 96.7 FM every Monday and Thursday morning. Check it out. All right. Well, you might have noticed last couple of weeks we've been doing these Boost Gridiron questions, but we're going on the road onto campuses talking to some of the biggest names in coaching. We've had Josh Giles at Centennial Basketball, Andy Wise, Corona Baseball, Kevin Watson, Arlington Boys Soccer. Now we go to Norco High School as the Boost man Ray Bass sat down with head coach Rick Robinson and also assistant coach Beth Windham. Norco has long been the premier program in the IE, the Southern Section. I mean, we're talking state titles, national championships, and they've been doing it for a long, long time. So the Boost man has had the privilege of sitting down with some of the biggest names in the game here in the IE. So the whole interview is actually, it's more like a podcast, but the whole interview is like 26 minutes. We're going to put the whole thing on the Inland Sports Show YouTube channel. So if you'd like to check that out, it'll be here. But we're going to play about 10 minutes or so here on the Inland Sports Show. So check out the Boost Man with Norco Softball. It's a gridiron segment.
What's going on? It's your boy Boost Man. I'm here at Norco High School with Coach Rick Robinson and Beth Windham for this month's Gridiron. Check it out. I appreciate you guys, taking the opportunity to sit and learn a little bit more about your program. You guys have had one of the most dominant programs. You've been dominating the league for the past decade. I would say, over 5 CIF championships, 3 state titles. What's in the water at Norco? What do you guys feel like you're doing that is different than other programs out there?
I don't know if it's so much different, but I think it's a family thing. We're family. I mean, Dave's pretty much, our third coach is pretty much part of the family now since, we've been together all these years. But the kids, everyone always thinks, it's a recruited team. But like our 2017 team, there was 18 kids on the team. 12 of their parents went to Norco. So it's a family.
So it's a real family.
It's real family. But it's also, you start to build it, and no one wants to be the first team not to do it. Mm-hmm. And I think that's what it comes down to. So they build off of each other, but you make the family where the seniors, they are the captains of, which I'm sure we'll talk about later, our Olympic teams. Yeah. That, so they have to run things. So they're giving back to the younger ones. Mm-hmm. They'll actually run, like our senior outfielders will run the outfield drills in the fall. And all those different. So they want to hand it back to them. And I think the other thing is we don't make it too complicated. We have 2 defensive sets. That's all we run. I think we have 5 offensive sides. We have that philosophy. We do what we do. We're not going to do a lot, but we're going to do it incredibly well.
Yeah, just like when we were walking on campus and just how little bit of people are actually on campus. It's crazy compared to other schools that we've been to. I mean, Norco is like in their blood.
Yeah.
Literally.
Literally. Yes.
Well, there's time that you'll see the city council here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
We were playing one of our inter-squad scrimmages yesterday, and we had fans.
I think a perfect example is we go to Bullhead for a tournament in March, and there is 3 families that one of them is from Norco, and the other ones that come to every one of our games that live in Bullhead because they've just seen us play there and seen just the girls. I mean, they're very close. Like, we had 3 girls in here today helping each other because one didn't know how to do the math problem. So they just get together and do it.
Yeah.
They fight like sisters, but they also
that camaraderie. That's important. That's huge.
Yes. I mean, they might not always get along personally, but it's that idea they can say things to each other, but nobody else better say it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That's how siblings work.
That's right.
Yes.
That's what it is.
100%.
You guys were talking a little bit about like some things you guys are doing right now, like the Olympics and things like that. I think that's really cool. I mean, I'm always a big advocate for fun in sports because when kids aren't having fun, then the passion dies, and it's like, then where do you go? And it seems like you guys have found a good way to keep it fun. Can you talk a little bit about that? Like, what is the Olympics? And
well, I mean, I actually stole the idea from Joanne Bird at Corona. We've changed how it's done, but she originally did it, and it's you put them into different teams, and this year it's going to be 3 teams. It's been 5 in the past, but our Olympic events, we have a blindfolded obstacle course, we have team karaoke, we have dodgeball,
And everyone has to participate in it. So you can't, like a little freshman can't hide off in the corner.
We have
nice.
we have the donut eating contest where they can't use their hand. It's quite disgusting, especially when it falls off the plate onto the grass and they have to eat it off the grass. But they do with no problem. And it's just, you got to have fun with it. It's still a game. We knowing they are doing their travel ball stuff now, we don't practice much in the fall. We don't want. We might have gone after school. Maybe 3 times when our inter squad goes over, but that's it. We know what they're doing, and we try to fit it into a certain amount of time. We also, having them in our 7th period class now, we know with their travel tournaments, Monday and Friday is usually a study hall, but we're not trying to overwhelm them. We're also knowing with their travel ball, they've got to, they're playing so much, we need to keep them healthy.
Yeah.
Because if you try to do both and try to play a lot, we played, I think it was 13 fall games. We had about 20 scheduled, but once we saw, okay, hey, we've seen what we need to see, we cut them out.
See, I really like that too, because I feel like there's not so many coaches that do that, right? Like you gotta, kids nowadays are so active. And because things like club, it's like, for most sports, I mean, even football has a club aspect to it now. Not a lot of coaches are willing to consider that and the toll it takes on their athletes, because they are doing more outside of their time with you. And you got to consider that to keep them healthy, right? To keep them at 100 so you can get the most out of them as well. So that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, I think that's another thing we do. Like, I'm always watching. I don't know if it's just the mom in me or what. Like, Savannah, for instance, I'm like, what's wrong with you? She's like, what do you mean? And I'm like, there's something wrong with your arm. Like, I make sure, because let's be real, especially on our team, no one wants to miss out.
Yeah.
Because if you miss out, someone's going to swoop in and take that spot. So I think we really watch, like, their mental, physical, all of that, their strengths. And
they don't want to admit it, right?
Yeah, and I'm like, no,
so you have to engage
our
them.
Our catcher got a concussion. I had to physically take her glove away, and I took it. Because I'm like, no, I think we really look into that, too, instead of just like, get out there and play.
Yeah.
Type of thing.
Sometimes we have to protect them from themselves.
No, of
100%.
course. That's coaches and adults' job when it comes to these kids.
And they're
not there yet. Yeah, we got to do that.
I remember it would have been 2017. We go to Bullhead. Kenzie Hansen got a concussion, and everyone tried to convince us to let her play. It's like, nope.
We took her gear and everything.
Took her gear. You don't even bring a glove. You don't even bring your full uniform. You can bring a jersey.
Okay, you guys have mentioned concussion like twice in the past, and like the
always
last
catchers.
minute. How does that happen?
Foul ball.
Foul ball.
So you
really?
figure Sarah Willis was throwing 70 miles an hour.
Yeah.
The ball foul tips and hits you right in the
Accelerates off the bat.
Got you.
So that's what it is.
Okay.
It's all catchers, actually, that have gotten the concussions.
Interesting.
It's the foul balls.
Okay, I want to circle back to that. So really quick, I grew up in this community.
Yeah.
I grew up in Corona. We grew up competing against Norco. One of my perception of Norco has always been like just a gritty culture here. It was like they're just gonna outwork you, super tough athletes. Do you guys feel like there's an aspect of that in your program? Do you take pride in that? Is that something that you try to build up and hold on to? I feel like we talked about this a little bit.
Yeah.
Beth, I know you do. Based on the conversations that we were having, like, is that something that you guys do intentionally?
I mean, especially the kids that, we've had so many kids that their actual parents came to Norco. I mean, I think we're on our 5th former player whose mom played for us.
Yeah.
Their mom played, so it's that kind of thing.
Yeah.
But we, especially the old Norco, that is that gritty player. But the one she's talking about, Savannah, someone, I know this was in Colorado, someone disrespected their teammates, she was going to take on the whole team.
Yeah. I think they just have it in them. Like,
because of
when
the
you
family?
have Norco written across, there's just a different... I didn't understand it because Rick and I both went to Corona and we were raised in Corona. I wouldn't even wear a blue shirt for the long, probably a good first 9 years I was coaching here. I refused. I wouldn't do it. But it's just, I think it's just the community. Like, everybody's here. You come to a random game against whoever and you have people on horses in the outfield, like the city council. I mean, it's you don't want, like Rick said, you don't want to be that team that doesn't win.
Got you.
So, I mean, we'll have a hard practice, and when they make errors or something, I make them run to the end and home plate, and they love every bit of it, I'm sure.
Yeah.
But if they didn't hit well, you will see 5 or 6 just on their own. Hey, will you hit with me? Let me do this. Let me do this.
Yeah.
So it's in them. I mean, I don't know if it's anything we do differently. It's just, I don't know. I think it just gets stuck in you when you land on the field.
Well, it sounds like, I mean, you guys do such a good job here with like passing that torch. I mean, you talk about just the legacy athletes that play for your program, and then there's also, you know, what you guys do in terms of seniors, showing the sophomores and the freshmen, you know, how it's done. You know, with things like the Olympics and things like that. You guys do your inter squad scrimmage. Like that's super important, you know, because you're right, it creates that culture where we don't want to be the ones who are going to drop the ball.
Yeah.
So that's pretty cool, no doubt. I want to talk about club for a second. Okay. So I know we were talking about that a little bit. You know, I've always been I grew up playing rec sports. And so I've always been a big advocate for rec. I played a little bit of club baseball growing up, but not a ton. You know, everyone talks about club when it comes to softball, especially softball and soccer. You know, those are like super big. And I'm always curious, you know, like does the same opportunities, if you're growing up, you know, in the club space, in the rec space, and some girls, you know, some athletes don't have the opportunities, the means to play in that club space. Do the same opportunities exist for players in the rec space as it does for the club? Can you still hit your goals of playing at the next level? Being an elite athlete.
You can, but it'd be very rare. And it's mostly that the club teams are putting you in a position to be seen by the colleges. The problem for us is we're a rare school that will get some college coaches to come out. But in the most case, they're playing when we're playing.
Yeah.
So they can't do it. So it's more that the rec doesn't put you in a position to be seen. I mean, we had one girl when I was still at Centennial, Nicole Miller. She never played travel, but she got seen, and she made it. She went to UNLV for 4 years.
Gotcha.
So I mean, it does happen, but a lot of times what you'll see is if they have that level of ability, someone will pull them to travel and get them a way to play.
But it doesn't mean that they won't make, like, there's such a stereotype that if you don't play travel, you cannot make our team.
Yes.
That is not true. We've actually won, I don't even know what year, a long time ago. We had a shortstop, never played travel in her life. She was good. She was a multi-sport person, and she just didn't play travel. We're going to pick the best 9. That's how I look at it. If they don't have the time or money or whatever to go do travel, or they just can't do it.
It's just what it is.
It's just how it works. But if they're good and they're going to work, they'll be there.
But travel is really, it gets you the college viewing opportunity.
Yes.
And that's what the tournaments do.
So on that note, when do you, at least for softball, when do you see girls making that transition to club? You know, if they started off, I would imagine that, you know, and I'm asking this as a girl dad, you know, I know for my daughter as well. You know, when you started off just getting the reps, getting in rec, you know, just to kind of, you know, hey, do we like this and whatnot? And then, okay, now they're taking an interest. You see something. When do you make that transition?
You'll see it as early as 10 and even younger. I think a lot of people make it too early.
Okay.
And they never really grow because there's that rare one that is ready to go. But it's become such a point that you have to play travel, you have to do this, so they go too early. They don't have the fundamentals to reach what those highly recruited players are getting.
So I guess a better question is, I mean, bringing that up.
All right, so we're going to jump out of that gridiron segment with the boost man, Ray Bass, and Norco softball coach Rick Robinson and Beth Windham. And if you'd like to see the whole gridiron segment, we'll put that video here on the Inland Sports Show YouTube channel. And again, we've done a bunch of them with some of the top coaches in the area, and we've got more coming up as well, so stay tuned for those. We appreciate you tuning in live and amplified on this Wednesday night. Congratulations to teams that have either won the CIF title, volleyball, or on the verge. Water polo, I know football's getting closer now, so it's that time of the season. And we're also going into basketball time. You know, CBU's already started. High school basketball and soccer will start next week. We had some water polo this week, so such a busy time. And we appreciate you turning to Inland Sports to keep you up to date on what's going on here in the IE. My name is Pep Fernandez. Again, like this video, subscribe to our channel. If you're a local business or organization and you would like to promote here on the Inland Sports Show, just send us a DM or an email. That's inlandsportshow@gmail.com. God bless you guys. Stay safe out there, and we'll see you next time on your favorite show, the Inland Sports Show. Good night and good luck to all of our local teams out there hunting down titles.